Hey guys, this is Nathan and welcome back to Feed the Beast Inventions. So I'm over here in the quarry world, been doing quite a bit of quarrying. I've also been covering all of the old quarry holes, and I'm just leaving a 2x2 chunk with the borders on the edges of all of those chunks. But I've made up a whole bunch of these solar panels, and as you can tell, the quarry is not moving very fast. So we are going to have to look at getting some more power for this thing, and I think the way that we're going to do it is with Buildcraft. We're going to utilize some of the oil that we have here in the quarry world, and also we have been finding the natural gas and oil shale when we quarry, and so we're probably going to look into the fracking process to get oil from that. And so we'll be running some combustion engines here to convert that oil into power. We'll probably have to refine it first, but yeah, that's going to be something we're going to look into. This quarry has been doing very good for me. We have a few diamonds in here and a bunch of other stuff. It's been really getting the resources for us. But to start out with today here, I said we were going to get into equivalent exchange. So we are. So I'm going to head back to the base and get everything ready so that we can get into equivalent exchange, and I will be back in a little bit. So to start out with, on equivalent exchange, we have a few things to make here. We need to make the calcinator, so we'll make one of those. We need the Alidel base, one of those. We need a glass bell. Clear that out. We're going to grab the research table. And the augment table. Apparently that one won't shift click. There we go. The augmentation table. And we're going to see what we can do with these now. So we're not going to be doing this in here, but I'm not sure where we're going to be doing this. I suppose we could do it over here, just beside this area. So we're going to place down our stuff here. So there's the calciner. Then we have the Alidel base. We're going to put the glass bell on top of that. We have the research station and the augmentation table. So these all have a little bit of an interface. I'm not sure how all of this works. But so the first thing that we need to do, I know this, we need to get ash. So ash, no recipe, but I'm pretty sure that we get it through here. I think we might need logs for this. This is another problem. Our harvester is not keeping up chopping the trees. We may have to get another one of those going. So we're going to grab some logs and just see if this will make some ash. Don't know for sure what I need to do here. So we're just going to place some planks in there and ash. Let's just see what this gives us. Yes, okay, so that gives us ash. So there are a few more things that we need here, and I'm not sure what they are. So I might have to do a little bit of research as to how this works, but yeah, I'm gonna try to figure some of this out, and I will be right back. Okay, so I think I've got a little bit of this figured out. So first off, we have some minium dust here. I got that by putting a diamond here in the calciner, and we're going to take this minium dust and a book and put them together. Now that is going to make our Alcanomicon, whatever, however you say this. So that is the book for equivalent exchange. This holds the information that we have learned so far. So now we need to place down our, well, I guess call it infusion altar, transmutation altar, I don't know. So you'll notice that right now with the chalk, this little transmutation circle is small. If we hold the charge button, it makes it bigger. Now, the default key bindings in this pack is for V, but that is a conflicting key binding, so you may need to change that. And now we can draw out our transmutation circle. So now we need to shift right click on this with an open hand, and that will turn it into the transmutation tablet. So this allows us to change items. So, you know, if we were to put this 47 oak logs in here, we have 1,500 for exchange energy. But we can't do that until we have started to get some information into our book. So we need to put our book in here, and we need to put items into here. So it will slowly do research on the item and add it to the book. So we've got a lot of items to do this with, and as we add items to the book, it will give us more and more things that we can do over here. So yeah, I think we have to take the book then and put it in here, and then we can, yeah, you can see now we can change this into dirt, or we can change it into oak logs. So yeah, we've got a little bit of stuff to do research on here. So much the same as a lot of other mods, we have to just sit here and one at a time put items into this thing. I believe we can use a hopper to interact with this thing. So let me try this. So if we put smooth stone, clay, bone meal, ash, can't use the chalk because it's got damage to it. Better barrel, apple. Oop. We don't want that many apples in there. The ash infused stone. You know, basically anything and everything that we can use here. So let's see here, get the bread in there. So I'm going to be going through a lot of my items and getting those put into the book here so that I can use them. And once I've got a good amount of that done, I will be back. So I have been doing a lot of stuff with the research station here, and I have a huge amount of items that I can now transmute items into. But I was tipped off to a little trick from another member of the server, and that deals with blaze rods and blaze powder. So one stack of blaze rods will roughly give you this much blaze powder and sulfur when run through the pulverizer. Well, if we throw all of this stuff up here into the transmutation table, we can see we get 197,792 exchange energy. Well, this stack of blaze rods is only 98,304. So that means we should be able to get almost 2 stacks, actually more than 2 stacks of blaze rods from 1 stack of blaze rods. So if we bring these back over here and pulverize these 3 stacks of blaze rods, we will get an absolutely obscene amount of blaze rods in their place. So we basically have an infinite amount of material that we can utilize here. So anything with exchange energy, which is a large portion of our ingots, a good portion of our gems, as well as a lot of mob drops and oddball things, a whole bunch of stuff from the nether, we have just gotten a way to get this stuff for free. So I don't think we're going to have to be doing any more work in the nether, because we can get glowstone, blocks, and dust. We can get nether wart, magma cream. We've got all of this stuff is exchangeable. These, the pyrite, sphalerite, and cinnabar dust are not exchangeable, but oddly enough this yellow garnet is. So there's some oddities in here, but yeah, we've got basically unlimited exchange energy now. So I don't know for sure what we're going to do with that. I may set up a system just for pulverizing the blaze rods, but yeah, seems awfully cheaty to me too. So I'd kind of like to hear from you guys what you think. whether you feel that I should be doing this or not. You know, it's essentially duplicating what we get out of the exchange table. I was going to be using the charcoal blocks. If we look at the charcoal, regular charcoal has 32 exchange. I believe if we take a stack and turn it into a block, this is good for 288. So I was going to be using that. Seems a little bit more, well, I don't know if I'd say fair, but yeah, I don't know. I want to know what you guys think, if I should use this cheaty method of getting exchange energy. But I'm going to go ahead and figure out what we're going to do now with the power in the quarry world. So I'm going to work on that, and I will be back in a little bit. Well, I have been going through pretty much all of my chests and bringing everything that I have that has the exchange energy over here to the transmutation tablet, and I have tons of blocks of diamonds. So we currently have over 7 million exchange energy in our table. Yeah, that's going to go quite a ways, but we are going to have to come over here to grab a lot of items for a while. But so we are going to go on to figuring out the power situation in the quarry dimension. So first off, we are going to be making some refineries. Now I've got the resources, I think, to make 2 of them. So we need to make some diamond gears. We are going to make the iron gears with just making a cross of iron. So we need to make 2 for the refinery. We also need to make quite a few of these for engines. So each engine takes 2 gears. We'll just make a bunch of them. So then we'll take the iron, wrap it with gold, make some gold gears, and then wrap that with diamond. And there we go, diamond gears. So then the next thing that we need was redstone torches and some tanks. Now tanks are pretty simple, just glass in a 3x3 hollow. So we're going to make 3 of those. I guess we need 6 of them. Okay. So now that we have 6 of those, we should be able to make the rest of it, and we get 2 refineries. So now we need the combustion engines, and this is just iron, glass, piston, and 2 iron gears. We make 5 of those. Now one thing that we do still need is whatever, an aqueous accumulator. So if we look that up, if I can spell. So the aqueous accumulator, we need a whole bunch of stuff. Do these have exchange energy? No, they don't. That is unfortunate. So we need some copper gears, we need a whole bunch of stuff, and I would say I'd go and take that one, but I am afraid of blowing up my boiler again. So we'll just get everything together here. So we need a bucket. So that's going to be a little bit of iron. So we'll grab that. We also need the copper gears, which is copper around iron. So let's get some copper. Okay, there's some copper. We need a little bit more iron. Then we need a pneumatic servo, more iron, redstone, and glass. So we need redstone. Machine frame. So we'll just make the simple one, tin gear with iron ingots. 1, 2, 3, 4. Need tin. Tin. 1, 2, 3, 4. We need another iron for that. And then we need, well, we'll just grab the rest of that glass. That should pretty well cover it. So let's go ahead and start making our stuff up. We need the pneumatic servo. We'll make 1 of those. We need the tin gear. Make that. Copper gears. Make those. Machine frame. Grab that. Bucket. Oh, we don't have enough iron. Let's grab that. So let's go ahead and make a bucket. And then we should be able to make up an aqueous accumulator. Okay, so I think we have everything else in our inventory, or in our hardened satchel here, that we're going to need. So So let's go ahead and head over here to the quarry dimension, and we will see about setting this up. So we'll need some of the power that we are getting from the solar panels to get this jump started. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set the refineries down here in front of this output cable that will give power to these guys. You can see they're slowly charging. So now we need to place down all of these oil tanks. Now these oil tanks I picked up from various locations around this area. So there's been quite a few of them. I happen to have 44, which is quite a bit of oil. So we'll go ahead and drop all of these here. A lot of oil. There we go. So now we need some fluid ducts to pull this out of there. Unfortunately, all that I have is the super laminar fluid ducts. So where did that other one go? Right here. Alright, so let's go ahead and grab that. I guess we need a wrench. Okay, so now we'll put a signalum servo on here that should start pumping the oil into the refineries, and you can see immediately we are getting gasoline. So now we need to take these fluid ducts here and place our signalum servos on here. Go ahead and ignore on both of these as well, and quite rapidly we should have an empty tank here. So let's just see, is that enough to empty this one out? Yes, it is. So we can go ahead and place this tank down here, and we'll start filling that with gasoline. So we're going to have to let this run for a little bit to collect some gasoline. In the meantime, I will go get some water set up with an infinite source. And I guess I didn't even look. We're pretty deep, but we've still got a fair distance to go on this. So yeah, I'm going to set up an infinite water source, and I'll be back in just a little bit. Alright, so I had to move the oil tank here because it was kind of in the way, but we have a full tank of gasoline now. We're going to try to get everything set up here now. So first off, for these combustion engines to run, they need a redstone signal. So the easiest way to do that is just to put a lever underneath them, and then we are going to take them and just face them into our power conduit here. So now for filling them with water, we are just going to take and make a little bit of a space here where we can dump some water. We're going to place our aqueous accumulator here, and then we're going to put water on each side. And this will now be collecting water. So you can see we're getting water here. So we're just going to place down some temperate fluid ducts here. Since we're just running water through here, no big deal. So each of these should now have the coolant in it, and it'll slowly fill them up, but they require coolant, otherwise they blow up. So very important thing. So now we're going to go along, put another line of the temperate fluid ducts here, and then put a servo on our fuel tank. We turn this over to ignore. We should immediately get these guys running. And so we've got tons of gasoline in every one of these engines, and we are now producing a lot more power than we were just a second ago. So I'm kind of curious as to how much power these are producing. Looks like 60 RF a tick each, so this is an additional 300 RF. These guys, the solar, I'm not sure how much those are, if I can spell. Man, I'm having a terrible time. Okay, so these redstone solar panels produce 64. So yeah, each one of these is essentially a little bit less than one of these redstone solar panels. So we should be producing a lot more power now. Hopefully we are going to be producing enough that we can keep up here. We are kind of keeping the quarry filled with power, that's good. And we do have to keep up with our refineries. But we may find out that we're not using as much gasoline as we are making. In that case, we'll just get rid of one of these refineries. That'll save us a lot of power. So I'm going to let this run for a little bit, and I'm going to try to see if I can figure out a way to continue gathering the oil so that we can keep refining it. And yeah, I will be back in a little bit. So one thing that I am thinking is we're producing a lot of power here at our main base, and we're not using all of it. You can see our turbine is full of reserve, so we're going to make some major power storage units here that we can take back to the quarry world and just set in to transfer a whole bunch of power over to the quarry. So I want to make some redstone energy cells. So let's take a look at this. So for this we need to make the redstone energy cell frame first, which is just electrum, diamonds, and hardened glass. So I have enough redstone here to fill 9 of them. So we need 4 electrum for each frame. So we're going to need 36 electrum. We're going to need 36 of the hardened glass as well. And then we need to go and grab 9 diamonds out of our table, or just 1 block of diamonds will work. So we'll grab that, unpack this. And then we're going to go ahead and just drop the redstone here, make sure that, okay, so we have 300 redstone in there right now. So we're going to drop this redstone into the magma crucible. In the meantime, we're going to craft up these frames. So this is something that I found earlier. The viaduct, these are for player transport. So it's kind of interesting. They get filled with erothium dust or something like that. I don't know. It's some weird thing. So we are having a little trouble keeping power to this, and I suppose that's just the limit of our hardened flux ducts. But man, we are really losing power fast. So yeah, we have used up all of the reserves in our turbine. So we're going to want to have some reserves there anyway. So once we fill these with redstone, then we need a little bit more electrum, some lead, and redstone conductance coils, which is electrum and redstone. So we need to go grab some more redstone and some lead. So let's see here, lead and redstone. So we'll just grab a little of each of those. And let's see, we don't have any electrum left, but I am willing to bet that we can make these conductance coils out of whatever our exchange energy. So let's just see here. So yeah, they do have an exchange energy, so we're going to go ahead and learn these real quick. So grab our book, put it in the table, and we'll learn this redstone conductance coil now. And in the meantime, I guess we'll drop this redstone back in there because we don't need that anymore once we learn this. So there we go. Another new thing that we have learned. So we want the conductance coils. So let's just go ahead and make up 9 of these. There we go. We're under 7 million now. Got tons of stuff out in the quarry world, but that doesn't do us a lot of good here. So we've got 2 of these so far. Let's go ahead and drop these in here. Oh wait, we need electrum. So let's grab some electrum, and did I have... No, that's ferrous. Thought I had another type of electrum there, but no. Okay, so then we need lead in the bottom, electrum up around the top, and there we go, 2 of them. So I think I'm just going to let these sit here and charge for a little bit. So this one right now is outputting back to the network. We want to turn all of its outputs off and just have it input. Wait, just input. Okay, so it's going to be taking a little bit of power out of the network. Looks like we're completely finished with our redstone here. Oh wait, these must take a bit more. We can make a cover. Okay. Takes 4 buckets each. Okay, I was thinking it was 1 bucket each. So yeah, we're gonna have to get a lot more redstone. So I'm gonna get the rest of these made up and filled, and I'm gonna head them back over to the quarry world. So I added 4 more steel turbines to this thing for a total now of 9, and we are using steam faster than we are producing it finally. So this is actually a good sign to me that how much power this thing can produce. But it's kind of a bad sign knowing that we can't produce more than 1800 RF a tick out of 1 boiler. So eventually this should stabilize. It should keep up after a while, I would think, but I don't know for sure how that all works. But I did have to make some regular redstone energy conduits here to pull the power away as fast as I am producing it, because the hardened ones can only pull away 800 RF a tick. So 1800 RF a tick, we would have had 200 RF too much. So these guys can handle, I think it's 8000 RF a tick. So yeah, we're not going to have any issues there, but these cells also hold 20 million RF each. So that should very easily take care of the quarry once we get a bunch of these done. So yeah, I still haven't finished filling the rest of the frames. I did have to use some of it to fill these redstone conduits, but yeah, I'm gonna keep letting these go. I gotta check and see how our time is doing on the episode, and I will be back in a little bit. So this is working pretty good for the moment. I mean, I let this thing fill up a little bit more than half full. It's not draining overly fast, but it's keeping the quarry moving at maximum speed. Also, I have taken the fluid ducts out of here that were supplying fuel to these combustion engines, for the simple fact that once this quarry is finished, we're going to have to let this run out of fuel. I don't know if we can pull it out of them, but I figure I'll just let it run out and charge up a couple of these redstone energy cells. So yeah, I've got 4 full tanks of gasoline over there already. Looks like I've got 2 more here. I changed my oil tank configuration so that I can tell when there's empty tanks up there to replace these with. And it's working pretty good. You know, we get this power situation a little bit more under control. We'll be able to place down larger quarries and not have to worry about running out of power. It'll just blaze through the quarry. Now, I have thought about using big reactors, but I saw a note in the update logs that they put the the big reactors to 8 times the normal fuel consumption. So fuel consumption is ridiculous on big reactors, and I don't know that I want to be messing with that just for that kind of fuel consumption. Now, we could possibly set up a couple of the railcraft boilers, because we have determined how much it takes to keep one of them running, and have it powering a big reactor turbine. But we would have to set up a regular big reactor first to get to the cyanite ingots to make the turbine blades. So just a few things that I can think about. But I do think we are close enough to out of time for me to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to give a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you have any thoughts about what's been going on in the series, be sure to leave that down in the comments, and I will see you next time. Bye!